Hello, wie geht's? My name is Third, and I'm unique, and I love unique people and my unique community. But if a dirty, unusual person walks in, ugh, ew. And if they ask me to be their friend too, because they find comfort in me due to the fact that we're both out of the norm, ugh, I don't wanna be friends. Ever since I saw Queen Tara in the 2013 animated movie Epic, I have been a part of the LGBTQ community. Oh boy, have I. And because of that, as well as being online at a young age, I've seen how it's progressed. From the wokeness of 2020 to whatever we have now in 2025, however, I've kind of started to notice the death of this wokeness. And I noticed it back in around September of 2024, which is kind of a long shot from the stuff I've seen recently. My channel, I'll talk about it anyway. The now deleted video of what I feel sparked the flames is from an account on TikTok known as Misa Alane, an art creator who goes to art school and makes art and is constantly surrounded by art people, many of whom are very gay. She posted a video about how when she uses her friend group's humor at school, she gets weird looks from the art kids. Very harmless stuff. I mean, when I'm saying it out loud, when it's on paper, very harmless stuff. Until you take a little look-see, at the way she drew the other art kids. Obviously, not exactly flattering. In the caption of the video, she said that they weren't based off of any real people from her school, and in a later video said that they were just quick sketches. But, anyone with a sense of empathy and a pair of eyeballs can see that these are very clearly not just quick sketches. They're caricatures of weird people, mostly. Gay people, neurodivergent people. Hopefully she probably didn't mean to intentionally make fun of these groups. However, if you were to make a Venn diagram of neurodivergent people, gay people, and art students, it'd be a circle, man. I don't know what to tell you. The attacks on these allegedly made-up people were deliberate. Those aren't quick sketches. They're mean, is what they are. They're mean drawings of people that otherwise found art school to be a sanctuary for freaks or for people that might have been excluded as a child. If she hadn't meant to be mean when she did this, then she could have easily used stick figures, but no. Something in her told her that she had to examine these people with a microscope and make specific sketches of people that allegedly don't exist and make them look as ugly as possible. Meanwhile, she drew herself as beautiful, okay? As if trying to make herself seem better than the rest of the art people. I'm different, guys. I'm not like those weirdos at my art school. Bruh. This is a thing that I see a lot in the online LGBTQ community, where someone will say, I'm gay, but not that kind of gay, which is where I get today's video idea. I used that first thing as an example. So, on to the rest of the video. Is it gonna cut yet? At the start of our more recent timeline, we have real Andrew Briggs, a fitness creator on TikTok, or at least I thought he was, considering his bio, but he, in fact, doesn't post anything about fitness on TikTok. He has a podcast on YouTube about fitness, but I'm, not talking about that right now. Most of his TikTok content is him just yapping about whatever he's thinking of, usually having to do with relationships, and one of those things arose in a video posted on January 12th of this year. Oh, why are you talking about this right now? This was multiple months ago. Can you do me a favor and, sit on it and swivel? Thanks. In the video, he talked about how polyamorous people and people in open relationships have a look to them. Seen here.
Why do people in open relationships always look like that? I'm being very non-specific here, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. I just really want to know what lifestyle or behavior or really anything is happening that causes this weird correlation in looking like that and then having this desire to share your partner with other people. I don't understand. Whatever that thing is that's causing this, I want to avoid that at all costs.
Which obviously got people, upset. After getting comments and videos and such, Andrew made a bunch more videos about it. He has a playlist on TikTok consisting of 4 videos about the situation, which feels obsessive, Sounds to me like you want to join the polycule. Internalized polyphobia, it's okay. A lot of people in the community go through internalized something phobia phase. It's normal, okay? We support it. In the 3rd video on the playlist, he finally reveals the excellence of what he means by poly people having a look. Here's the list he provided. Ahem! Cookie Monster Pajama. Ren Fair employee. Multicolored hair. Steven Universe fan. Having trash or goblin in their username. Okay, so, okay, yeah, so, you can, yeah, so, you can just say outwardly gay people that might also be millennials, You know what I mean? Newsflash, man, not everyone in the LGBTQ community is gonna be a hot and skinny bisexual lady with a bob and bangs that dyes her hair every week and a half and has 7 evil exes. He didn't say anything, like, about body size in his list of qualifiers. However, there were a lot of polyamorous people that stitched that video, understandably angry, and a lot of them were bigger. And you know what all the comments said? Yeah, who he's talking about? What? He and his defenders weren't even hiding the fact that their hatred was based in looks, either. Part of me feels like this is some sort of an excuse to make fun of polyamorous people. I feel like a lot of people tend to try and find and nitpick something that a group of people or a person did just for the excuse to hate. Cough cough. How some people act towards chaperone. Cough cough. But in this case, these haters have found out that more than one person has the belief that they had, so they hide in their little crowds and hate with no other excuse than someone looking weird. This kind of thinking leads to a very dangerous pipeline that ends in something probably reminiscent of ugly laws. If you're unaware, the ugly laws were laws in some cities here in the US from 1867 to 1974. These laws prevented mostly poor and fat and disabled people from leaving their houses. Maybe that's a slippery slope. I do love water slides. Speaking of water slides, they're in pools. You know how some people get into their pools? Well, this whole thing on TikTok cannonballed into a trend in which queer people started to bash other people in their community, and ironically, this trend used a Lady Gaga song. Of all artists. Most of the videos were just people sitting in their car or bed or something, lip-syncing to the song with text over it that says something along the lines of, "Me when my friend says I'm bisexual way too loud," and suddenly the fat and ugly polyamorous non-binary person who uses stupid neopronouns and has dyed hair starts walking over. And get this. The song they used for this trend was Bad Romance by Lady Gaga, specifically the part where Gaga repeats the line, "I don't want to be friends." Might make sense. That line might make sense if you haven't ever listened to the song, but if you have, and you have, an ounce of media literacy, then that line is so goddamn ironic on account of the fact that those lines, in the context of the song, mean, "I don't want to be friends. I want to get freaky with you." Quote, "I want your love. I don't want to be friends." Just saying. If you're gonna hate on an entire group of people that did nothing wrong but be themselves, choose a better song, you know what I mean? Be smart with it. Trying to be a hater and using a song about not wanting to be friends, but rather more than friends, is like such a beginner mistake. Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar was right there. Quote, "It's always been about love and hate. Now let me just say, I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak diss. These people are kind of just uncreative and boring, and I think the song that they used for this hate-driven trend really solidifies that. Opinion, I've never met a boring non-binary person. I just haven't, okay? Maybe I'm biased, cause, obviously I've met 1 or 2 wicked non-binary people in my life. Oh, sorry, not wicked, but wicked. A lot of them do like musical theater, though. One of the other odd, but not nearly as harmful trends I've seen is videos with, that usually have the caption, "POV. You sit at Bug and Arson's lunch table." For any viewers that touched grass in 2020 to 2022, Bug and Arson aren't simply people, but rather representatives of the weird gay kid community from 2020 to 2022, or further, I don't know. They're often seen with colorful hair and lots of blush and eyeliner and anime skirts and fishnets and demonias, and their diet consists of Monster Energy and air. Recently, these figures, though, have been used wrongly. They've been used in a way that depicts Bug and Arson as angry and aggressive people who, when you sit at their lunch table, they're automatically horrible towards you if you at all admit straightness. Which, in reality, welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things that have never happened. In my experience, as well as a ton of other people's experiences, real experiences, true experiences, not their brains skewing a memory so that they can have an excuse to make fun of someone, Bug and Arson were never horribly mean to anyone. Bug and Arson, for the most part, accepted people to their tables because being different, they know how it feels to be excluded. If anything, if ever Bug and Arson have ever been more exclusionary to someone for looking basic, that's more of a learned survival tactic to keep away from bullies rather than pure hatred. Whereas basic people who hate on Bug and Arson don't usually have a good reason for hating them other than them being different and not conforming. I'm not gonna go on a whole rant about conformity again. I already have a whole video about that. I'm very proud of it. Go watch it. But it's still so strange to me that people are lying about their experiences just to further hate on a population that they are a part of. I get it if you're embarrassed about your past self, or I get it if you don't want to be friends with these kinds of people, but that gives you no right to make an entire trend hating on them. It's weird. It's odd. It's strange. You're gonna look at me and tell me it's not weird or odd or strange, okay? If you want to be a hater because someone's weird, just do it. What's stopping you? Oh, but then I'll be perceived as mean. You are mean. Imagine how Bug and Arson feel. I've always been a big defender of neopronouns and things in general that are seen as weird, even in the LGBTQ community, and something that I see a lot of when arguing with people that are against those things is referring to the opinions of older people part of the LGBTQ community in order to make their opinions more sound. And I don't mean, like, older videos, like videos from back in the day, where older people that are old now but young then are saying stuff. No, I mean like current old gay people that are saying their current opinions on current things. Okay? Okay. Obviously, it is ferociously vital to get opinions on current times from older gay folks, given the fact that they were alive during the time that being gay was a huge no-no. However, some of the things that they say should still be taken with a small grain of salt. I feel like in this community, especially online, older gay people are seen by a striking number of people as omnipotent gods who can do no wrong, and whose opinions are 1,000,000,000% correct 1,000,000,000% of the time, even though older gay people are they're still old people, you know, they're still baby boomers and, like, older folks from Gen X who can't handle change. In the grand scheme of things, a lot of them are just diet versions of an older straight person who doesn't like trans people. Still on the subject of neopronouns, my video, my rules, one of the other arguments I've heard is that, it freaking hurts the trans community, as if transphobes hate trans people because of neopronouns. The fuck? Transphobes hate trans people because they're trans. You know what I mean? I feel like I've made this point in another video. I don't know. In the recent years, Gen Z has slowly become less and less woke. We used to be the most accepting and most progressive community of people out there, and that once Gen Z reached the ages where we can get jobs in politics, we would completely reform the state of, primarily, the United States of America's government for the better. A lot of our activism was performative, like changing your profile pictures on TikTok, but some of the stuff still did stuff. It still made an impact. However, since 2020, that status of progressive and accepting has slowly slowed to a halt, and now we're kind of regressing. Not largely, we aren't going to suddenly be incredibly homophobic or horrible, but we aren't nearly as angry at stuff that we should be angry at as we used to be. Older gay and trans people who weren't able to be out when they were our age because of the hate circulating in their communities at the time used to look to Gen Z as a beacon of hope. Hope that maybe we can fix the world and that soon everyone can be exactly whoever they want without getting looked down upon. That they can be themselves and be who they want and love who they want and dress how they want without being scared to death that someone may try and harm them, whether that be through public shaming or through literal violence. But now, because of trends like this, and because of ideas like this being spread around and people seeing them so often, which begins the frequency illusion, and which in turn makes more people truly believe things like this, I cannot confidently say that our generation will ever be the one to do that, to make the world truly safe for anyone that is different. And I cannot express my grief and my frustration enough. As commenter Lord of Shiba Inu said in my video about empathy, I think it's partially due to the overwhelming empathy that 2020 cultivated, and others saw all the tone tags and hyper-awareness regarding triggers as something that's cringe. As a result, people kept on moving away from it and disregarded any similar empathetic behavior as also cringe. I miss when we were woke. I do. A lot of people like to say that wokeness killed comedy, but here's what I think killed comedy. Story time. When wokeness was arising and when you were allowed to leave your house in 2020, every single one of the worst comedians ever suddenly rose to more fame. Not that much more, but more. And all of their sets. Every single one of their sets. Every last one of their sets started with, I'm probably gonna get canceled for this by the woke snowflakes, and ended with crowd work that was only funny because the comedians somehow always managed to pick people with inherently funny lives. At what point do you see all of these, like, comedians at an open mic that come before you and see how all of their sets are the same as each other's, including yours, and think, maybe I should make a new joke. Maybe I should have an original thought for once. No, man. We aren't mad at you for challenging the boundaries of comedy, which is what comedy is about. We're mad because you suck ass at being funny. Get a new joke. Okay, on that note, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please subscribe. It means a whole bunch to me to see that number go up. Can't stop that grind. Comment down below your thoughts on this subject and anything you might want to add to it, as well as any topics you want to see me make a video on it, if you have any. As always, you are all great. My name is Third. Guten, bye. I don't wanna be friends. I don't wanna be friends. I don't wanna be friends.